during the Civil War. And third, he is known for his address commemorating the National Cemetery at Gettysburg, where approximately 4,000 Mainers, many from the 20th Maine Regiment, fought gallantly, with about 1,000 of them making the supreme sacrifice to give our nation a new birth of freedom. Lincoln's speech at Gettysburg is considered by many to be the greatest speech in American history, not to mention the world. Never before, and perhaps never again, has a speech, as Jean pointed out, only 272 words in length, conveyed so much meaning in so few words. In 2013, it was the 150th anniversary of the writing and delivery of the address, and we at the Presidential Library wanted to do something extra special to commemorate the occasion. We are one of 5 institutions in the world that have one of the original Gettysburg addresses. There are 2 drafts that are in the Library of Congress. Then ours is the 3rd one. It's the Everett copy, which the keynote speaker at that day at Gettysburg, who spoke for more than 2 hours, Edward Everett, asked Lincoln to write out by hand, and we have that one. And as we said the Pledge of Allegiance and said, "Under God," our copy of the Gettysburg Address was the first time he wrote in the words, "Under God." And then there are 2 other copies. One, I believe it's at the University of Connecticut, and the 5th one is in the Lincoln bedroom at the White House. So for the 150th, putting the Gettysburg Address out and getting to see it in all its glory is enough, I think, for the 150th. But we wanted to do something extra special, and that's when we came up with this idea. Some people, as ideas go, thought it was kind of crazy until the essays started coming in, and then they thought it was interesting and great that we did it. And so what we did, as Jean pointed out, was we asked people from all walks of life and from all corners of the globe to walk a little bit in Lincoln's footsteps and write their own 272-word essays. And while Lincoln did not start out saying, "I think I'm going to write a 272-word essay for Gettysburg," that's exactly the number of words. And the people could write about Lincoln, they could write about Gettysburg, the Gettysburg Address, or something that stirs their passion, an issue in the world today that really moves them. And then we challenged them further to, if they were so inclined, to actually write it out by hand. And I think for some people this proved more difficult than the actual writing of the address, composing it. And in fact, we got a call from Colin Powell's assistant who said, "Carla, could the general print it? Because he's already tried writing it a couple times, and he keeps making a mistake, and if he prints it, he'll get it done." And so he said, "Whatever, who am I to tell Colin Powell what to do? If he wants to print it, he can print it." And it came printed on 5 successive pages. It was quite beautiful. But in any case, we weren't sure if anyone would respond. And then, a few essays trickled in, and then one day a FedEx envelope came, and it was quite amazing. We opened it up, and it was an essay from President Jimmy Carter. And it was hand-typed. It was not a computer printout. It was actually typed by a typewriter. And when we called and asked who typed it, they said the president typed it. Like, of course, the president would type his own essay. And so I'd like to read to you right now. I'm going to read just a few of the essays tonight of what President Carter wrote. So he begins. "When I began peace talks at Camp David between Israel and Egypt, it soon became obvious that the 2 leaders were almost completely incompatible.